Jurors agreed that Carlos Uresti and his business partner defrauded investors out of millions in a Ponzi scheme disguised as an oil services company, finding Uresti guilty on all 11 felony counts.
Uresti says he plans to appeal today's verdict and right now has no plans to step down from the state Senate, but already there are calls for him to resign. Eyewitness News reporter Addie Guajardo has more on Uresti's future as a politician and how state politicians are reacting. Addie?
State representatives spoke out today following that highly anticipated verdict. And while many acknowledge Uresti's right to appeal, they say it's time to move on.
The guilty verdict spread quickly, prompting the question on many people's minds. What's next?
The jury has clearly decided that Mr. Urest is guilty, and obviously we took the news very hard, but it's obviously time to move on and time to start a healing process in all of this.
State Representative Roland Gutierrez represents District 119 in southeast San Antonio. Much of his district overlaps Senator Uresti's. Gutierrez says over the next 2 weeks he will discuss with his constituents on how to move forward and hopes Uresti keeps the community's best interest in mind.
He can appeal it. It's my hope that he evaluates, what's best for the city of San Antonio, what's best for his constituency, and from San Antonio all the way to West Texas.
Uresti's political career spans 2 decades. He was first elected in 1997 as state representative. In 2006, he was elected as a state senate. And according to a St. Mary's University law professor, he can still serve as long as his appeal is working through court, but adds that it could take years. Time Gutierrez says the Democrat Party cannot afford.
He understands that we need to have representation come January. We need to have someone that's actually seated at the Capitol.
The Texas Senate Democratic Caucus released a statement calling on Uresti to resign. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick announced he was removing Uresti from his committee assignments. It's unclear who will run for the seat to potentially replace Uresti, but Gutierrez did not rule out the possibility of running for it himself.
Family and I will evaluate what's best for our family and what's best for the future of this district, but certainly Senate District 19 needs to have representation in Austin.
Now, Uresti was reelected as state senator back in 2016, so he could serve through 2020, pending on the outcome of that appeal. In the studio, Addie Guajardo, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Addie. Through 2022, that's right. Emotions were running high outside the federal courthouse as Uresti was walking out. His son got into an altercation with one of our photojournalists. Take a look.
Watch where you're going. Stop stepping in front of me. What you got to pump? Hey, come on, dude. You want to start?
Whoa, Carlos, come on.
You bumped into me again. I'll keep Dan. Watch it.
You can see it was quickly broken up. No one was hurt.
So here's what's next for Uresti. Now, as we said earlier, he's already announced plans to appeal today's verdict. A legal professor says that appeal would have to be based on errors in the law, and the chance of getting a reversal is pretty slim. It's also a process that could take years.
If the verdict is upheld, Uresti faces sentencing in June. He faces up to 20 years on some counts and up to 10 years on others.
Now, Uresti could face even more prison time. That's because he has a second trial set for May on completely separate felony charges of bribery and money laundering.